And alright guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another video on the self-developed YouTube channel. Let's get it going, the best man's channel on YouTube. And no cap saying that every day till we blow up to 1,000,000 subs or 500k, because channels like mine who speak the truth usually don't get that high without getting silenced. But we keep persevering. Let's go. Anyways guys, with that said, hopefully you're having an amazing day. Let's get it going. We're slowly getting leaner, more tan. The days are getting brighter, even though we came down with a little cold the past couple days because everything's trying to hold us back, but we endure. In today's video, guys, I titled it, or believe I titled it, Why Women Need Leaders Above, or Why Women Cannot Lead Themselves. Something along those lines. I don't always get the titles right, but we try. Anyways, guys, with that said, we're going to get straight to it. There is a lineage, there's a hierarchy, and this may offend some of you guys, but this is actually the most loving thing that we can do for our society, because this is how our society here in the West, throughout all human civilization, has thrived and been built. But what our matriarchy now is doing, or the individuals up top, right, the individuals that may be, is they're trying to completely overthrow, and not even overthrow, but mix up this hierarchy, because they understand that in doing so, it will degenerate society. It will ruin it, guys. If you think about it, disease or disorder, right? If someone says, oh, I have, a mental disorder, or I have a disease, what is that? It's something out of ease. It's in dis-ease, or it's in disorder. So when everything is back in proper order or proper ease, our body, our society, which is kind of like a body, right? It's like we're in everything. Plants and humans, we're all the same, guys. Like, everything requires similar structures, anatomies, biological systems with, even think of like an anthill, right? There's like hierarchies, and there's like funnels, and there's the ways things move. Again, I'm not what do you want to call it, a biologist or a Scientologist? But it's kind of common sense. So with that, what is this order in this hierarchy? Guys, this goes God, man, woman, child. And this is biblical. This is also, even without religion, completely natural law. The reason it goes God, man, woman, child is because that is the rank and responsibility. That is, kind of, think of it like the pecking order, right? When you're in an army, military, sport team, the person at the very top will get the orders from who? Head coach, right? Head coach speaks to this person. He doesn't speak to usually the people down here. So I worked, obviously, part-time. I had jobs in the past. And when we needed to be told something, and excuse my voice, I know it's a little nasally, when we needed to be told something by the boss would very rarely tell the employees. Who would he tell? The manager. Right? Or you could think of like the sub-boss, and then the sub-boss would tell us employees. That's exactly how it works. I'm not saying God doesn't necessarily speak to women per se, but generally speaking, God chooses to speak to man first. This is why Adam was created before Eve, and Eve was created from Adam. Now again, if you guys don't believe, that was literally, remove the Bible, etc., that's fine. Even biologically, guys, men through testosterone, look at our anatomy and our physiology. We're built to be leaders. We are built to have divine order through God. This is why we're much more forward-thinking and objective, right? We're less emotional. So then from that, we lead our family, right? And if you think there's something sexist with this, that's simply because you've been brainwashed and programmed by the elites up top to, like I just said, they're trying to reverse this order. And, it's so funny, guys, because my audience, my core audience, you guys are very smart. Like, you can think logically like me, but a lot of people can't see past this. So they think they're so smart, right? They think like, oh, this is all equality. This is how it should be. But it's like, they don't realize that they've been fooled. Like, the elites up top are laughing at them. They're like, these guys ate it up. And these individuals are kind of like, I'm going to relate it to Nazi Germany, or maybe that's an extreme example, but they're kind of like bots, right? They're like little NPC bots that just like further dispense the propaganda. So guys like us, if we ever bring it back to biblical practices or more traditional practices, which is really what built our entire society to begin with, we get demonized, right? So the reason I brought up Nazi Germany is because I either saw this in a book or I read it in a movie. Very rarely did, in like the Jewish concentration camps, and again, I'm not, go easy on me, guys. I'm not saying I was there or like I ever witnessed this. No, but I can observe. And I find it very interesting that very rarely did the German guards, right? Let's say if there were the Jewish prisoners or inmates, right? Let's say one of them got out of line. Very rarely, from what I know, did the German guards actually like put them back in line. Do you understand? What they did is they would take, because there were so many of them, right? They would take other Jewish inmates and, let's say, give them a bit more food. So give them a small incentive, right? You get, 2 loaves of bread instead of 1 loaf of bread at dinner time every day if you keep your other inmates in check. And that's exactly how our society works today. It's not like when I say these ideas, like the elites, I mean, when you get big enough, yeah, that eventually probably will happen. But it's not like I have like police guards come up to me and be like, you can't say that, that's misogynistic. No, it's other programmed bots. That's what the elites do through media, that's what they do through social media, TikTok, etc., which I'm hoping you guys understand. I mean, most people don't even think that far. So then other individuals in our own family, household, friends, society, like if I say this on the street, people are usually women, they're gonna be like, what do you mean? Cancel him, that's wrong. And it's like, well, it's no different, you know, they're kind of like the other inmates that are, you guys heard of crabs in a bucket? Right, that's what's happening. So essentially, guys, the reason I say this is the most loving thing possible is because feminine women want to be led by masculine men. There's nothing sexist about that. There's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, this is how our entire society here in the West, I mean, all throughout the world, but the most evolved place in the world here in the West was built. It was built by men working their butts off to empower God and to provide for their family. Right? That is how the West here is the most evolved place in the world. That's how we've come so far. But everyone's trying to ruin it now. So yes, I'm speaking of a ton of things here. This is why the West, you know, whether you guys get butthurt or not, was built by white Christian males. And it's so funny and sad because who gets demonized the most in society now? White Christian males. You guys notice this? Have you, like, guys, anything that is, remember this video before, if any of these ever get like flagged in the future, I'm not here. Everything and anything that is virtuous and prosperous is being attacked. Religion, specifically Christianity, because it's the most powerful religion in the world. It's how the West was built. It wasn't through Islam, it wasn't through atheism, and I study all of them, guys, believe me. It was through Christianity, it was through men, and they were white. I'm not saying like if you're not white, that's bad. No, but it's just the reality, guys. The West is the best. That has nothing to do with racism or anything. You know, I'm half Asian. I'm not even full white. But there's a reason these guys worked, and because they respected, as well as their women, that proper order and hierarchy. This is natural law, guys. There's nothing sexist about this. When a man follows God, because God gives man the inspiration, Adam, right? And for women thinking too, like, oh, you know, that's sexist, women want to be on top. Do you know the burden it takes being the next rank of man? You think in like an army, right? If anyone screws up at the bottom, who does the general come for? The next guy up top. He doesn't come for you guys. Like if us as the employees when I work part-time, if we screwed up, very rarely does the boss come to us. In extreme cases, maybe, but usually it's the manager. The manager's like, bro, he pulls us aside and is like, yo, you're like, if you keep screwing up, you're gonna get fired. Very rarely do you see the boss. That's how the rank goes. So if the family gets screwed up, if the kid gets sick, if the wife or the mother goes out and does something bad, it's all the man's fault. You know, so it's always funny and everyone wants to be egalitarian, like let women take the responsibility until responsibility is actually served, and then most times they can't handle it, so they run away. This is the reality. Men are bigger and have broader literal and metaphorical shoulders for a reason. Men were built spiritually and physically to carry the load. Women were not. And this is not sex, this is not bad. I was raised by a single mom and I saw what happened to her. My dad died when I was young, so when my mother was in she was in a relationship, my dad was, you know, he's a man, so he's going to be stronger, he's going to be able to endure, think more logically, connect with God, which is mission, which is just understanding the next steps on where to lead the family, right? Kind of think of like Moses leading everyone out of of slavery, right? This is a perfect example. Moses gets the inspiration from God. Okay, that's what you want me to do? I'll lead them. That's what men do to our wives and our children, right? This is why all the prophets are men, right? There's reasons for this, guys, whether you take it literally or not. But where was I going with it? Yeah, so I saw my mother when she was under the strong mantle of my father and how she was, right? And then when my dad died at 14, I saw what she was like when she was single. She had no leader above, and it completely destroyed her. It ruined her. She had to now become masculine, and that's what happens, guys. So women in our society now who are now these kind of like pseudo-masculine women, it's not because they want to. It's kind of like a birth defect. It's a perversion, really. Like, it's not natural. It's kind of like if I have a plant here, and if you water the plant every day, like, it'll grow healthily, right? It'll be like a normal plant. But if you start neglecting it, the plant, like, starts withering, and it starts, like, or think of, like, the human body. If it doesn't eat enough, it starts to starve, and, like, it's like a mutation, right? It's out of order. It's disorder. It's disease. That's how disease happens. That's what masculine women are. They don't want to be. There's a very select minority of women who do. I had a girlfriend in the past who was a little bit more masculine, right? But again, that's funny enough because her father left. Like no wonder, you know? So there are a small subsect of women who take more of that masculine role, which is fine. But even them themselves, they still want to be under a strong masculine authority. Now, I'm not saying I'm the be-all, end-all by any means. I'm trying to give advice to myself and you guys. The way to be more masculine, or the way to lead your women, family, child, society, is to follow God. Because there's a reason I push God so much on my channel, and there's a reason no one else does. I hate to keep bringing up the red pill community, but, screw it, I have to for context. Anytime they propagate or promote ideas of, following the matrix or following society, following this maternal realm, which is, clothes, money, cars, you don't gain authority from that. Like, yeah, it looks cool because you have cars and, I don't know, maybe you're on steroids so you look really big, but like, if you don't follow God, specifically Christ, you have no authority. Like, I can see through that, this is kind of a side tangent, but a lot of young guys at my gym are like, and I know this, and I called out a guy yesterday. They were like, man, there's this guy on steroids, he's so cool, yada, yada, yada. And I can, tell this guy's just, self-worship, idolatry. He's not a good guy. I don't know him personally, but, as men of God, we're commanded to judge righteously. I can see his, Instagram page, TikTok, it's self-worship, right? And I'm telling them, we need to judge righteously. And just because a dude looks cool, right? He's got a lot of money, or, I don't know, he looks big, he's on steroids, doesn't mean anything. Like, that doesn't mean he's a good leader. So I need to make that clear too. This is a complete side tangent video, but a lot of, you gotta be smart, guys. I value and judge a man's authority based on his responsibility or conviction to God and Christ and his mission ahead of him. It has nothing to do with how he looks or how big or how successful he is. Now, generally speaking, that will be a byproduct of following God, right? You'll be a righteous man, but be careful, right? This is why, what is it? I believe it's John 7:24, I want to say, we are not to judge on appearances, but with righteous judgment. That's fact. Do not judge by appearances. Oh, this guy looks really cool. Yeah, but judge with a righteous judgment. And what is righteous judgment? It is judging a tree by its fruits. Right? Is it resembling God? Is he resembling Christ? Is he leading people? And if the answer is no, then you guys got to smarten up. So anyways, guys, that is it. Too much fire for one video, guys. That is why I say women can't lead themselves, or they don't want to lead themselves. They want men to lead them. Why is this? Because men are more long-term thinking. We're much more objective, and all men are spiritual by nature. Women are, but in different ways. Women have gifts and superpowers, so if it sounds like I'm making fun of women, I'm not, guys. Relax. I usually make fun of men 99.9% of the times. But when it comes to forward-thinking, objectivity, long-term inspiration, and essentially leading your family to salvation, if I take a man and a woman to do that, a man will... it will trump, and if you guys don't, then you're just weak men. Like that's your fault, So the majority of women who are watching this, they say, "Oh, but men aren't like that." Yeah, because they're weak men. That doesn't mean they can't do that as men. It just means they're weak men. It's like when you put a tiger in a cage at the zoo. Oh, but the tiger doesn't bite anyone, or it's not aggressive. Yeah, because it's been castrated. That doesn't mean though it can't. If you put it back into the wild, you give it a couple years time, the literal fur grows thicker. You guys can search all this up. Animals, their claws grow sharper, their teeth literally elongate and sharpen. They took this with pigs. They showed this. If you put a pig in a zoo, or you put him back in the wild, the pig literally turns into a boar, and he grows like tusks, and his fur gets thicker. We're products of our environment. And I'm telling you, when men are properly thriving in their environment, they're lethal. But our society today it's fake. It's pseudo. We're like all, chimps in a zoo. So, yeah. Anyways, that is it, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Share this video with everyone. I need my channel to go absolutely viral. I know it will, guys, but this is what the world needs to hear. There's no question about it, because very few other channels have the knowledge or courage to speak about stuff like this. So let's go run it up, guys, putting it out there to the algo and God to see it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. I'll finish it here with the final plugs. If you guys are interested and would like to work with me on a personal level, you guys know the flex. There is always one-on-one coaching. Spots are open, guys. Come book yourself a spot down below. We still have some left, and I'd love to further elaborate and teach you guys how to become self-developed as men. On a more practical level, improving things like your fitness, business, mindset, and relationships. That is that, guys. You can support Edge, coupon code Hammond. Let's go. About to record some more videos. Full send it for the kingdom, because we are taking over. It's our time. Satan cannot hold us back. So you guys be the example, follow Christ, be the best leader you can. It's not always going to be easy. In fact, that's probably the hardest thing you can do, which is why no man does it. It's nearly killed me the past 3 months because Satan will attack you. But that's a complete different topic for a different day. All right, guys, warriors, keep enduring, put on the full armor, and let's send it because there's no alternative. You know, it's either that or death. And yeah, it's one of the two. I ain't doing the middle ground, no thanks, because you're a waste of a man if you do. Till then, much love. Peace.